Sunday Spotlight is brought to you by Bay Area Children's Theater.
Hi, everyone. It's me, Kalia Davis, the Artistic Director of Bay Area Children's Theater. Welcome to another episode of Sunday Spotlight. This is the show that shines a spotlight on amazing and fun and cool and interesting artists who are using their work to create positive change in their industry and community. Today's guest is my friend, Broadway performer and motivational speaker for young people, Katy Geraghty. Here are 3 things you need to know about Katy.
Katy is a die-hard Slytherin. She had a black eye during the Tony Awards. The day the announcement came out for her Broadway debut was almost to the day 10 years after her first performance ever.
Hi, Katy. Welcome to Sunday Spotlight.
Hi, friend. It's so good to see you.
You as well. Here we go. We're going to just dive right in. I ask all of my guests the same first question. Okay. Who did you see or what did you see as a kid that inspired you to pursue this career in the arts?
I wish I had a better answer for this because I love it when people have a beautiful inspirational moment, but theater was a total accident for me. I was really training heavily in dance when I was a kid, especially ballet. And I was preparing myself to audition for the Nutcracker in Boston. And my mom just did not want that to be my first audition. So I ended up going to an open call for a regional theater in the Boston area, and I accidentally got cast. So, yeah. So it was not like this beautiful, big, dramatic moment. It was more a series of reaffirmations from there that I was like, yes, no, this is what I'm doing. This is what we're doing.
Well, that's really interesting because you are so talented and incredible when it comes to performing on stage in front of people.
Thank
you. Yes.
You should have been there to tell my mom when I was 7 because she thought they had the wrong kid, which is rude, but here we are.
What? No.
All those years later. Yep.
Well, speaking of musical theater and theater in general, you do so much of it and most of your career is centered around it. So why did you stick with it? What drew you into musical theater and why is it something kids should really consider?
I love that when you're explaining musicals to people, it's that when you have so much emotion and you can no longer talk, you need to sing. And then when you can no longer sing, you have to dance. And there's something so beautiful in that. And why wouldn't you want to express yourself in that way? Those are such big, wonderful emotions that you get to work through and show in such big, wonderful ways. You know, I think it's always been a big part of my life. My family's always been very musical. My dad's a really amazing drummer. So I've always had music in my life. So to be able to find something that kind of married the dancing that I was already doing and then getting to perform with music as well. And then, acting just comes with it. So
yes, that's great. And I agree. There's something really special about what can happen when you are in a musical or when you see one. It transports you, or sometimes they say it's a really beautiful escape into a whole new world that isn't yours, but is really fun to be a part of. And I love that.
All those goosebump moments are great.
Yes. Something else that's really awesome about you is that you give back your time and energy and your gifts to young people and young audiences in a myriad of ways through your social media, but also through your public speaking engagements. Why do you feel it's important to keep showing up for kids out there in such a visible way?
I think that every person needs to see themselves to believe that they can do it. Manifested in whatever way, and that can be in a myriad of reasons, in a myriad of ways. But I think that one affirmation is so important, and we don't really even think about it because it can be a really small moment, but it just gives you the permission to say, yes, I exist in this world. So for any kid who's ever seen themselves in me, that's incredible, and please take it and use it and run and take over the world. But also, I don't think that the young performers that I have taught, and I know that some of my teachers feel the same way, and I'm sure you do, that they don't realize how much they're giving to us. Theater is a wonderful, beautiful place to work, but it is so hard. And there are so many times where it can feel really heavy on your soul and your body. And there's so many things that make you tired in this profession. And I truly think that there's nothing more reaffirming for why we're doing this than watching a kid do it that loves it. So
yes.
we get it too. It's a refueling. So it's totally selfish. I actually am just teaching. Yeah, it's fine.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Okay, great. Yeah. It's all a lie, basically. Yeah.
We met and worked at a really awesome event called the Junior Theater Festival that is put on by iTheatrics. And it's an opportunity for all of those kids to get together, meet other like-minded individuals who love creating and doing art. I want to ask you, Katy, because kids are wild. Kids do some wacky, silly, zany things. Can you recall an incident or a moment where you were in the presence of those amazing children and maybe something unexpected happened or they surprised you in some way?
I mean, there's so many to choose from because in JTF, there are just a sheer number of people involved. If you look in any direction, you'll find something like this for sure. I just did JTF in Atlanta in January. And there was this one group, they were doing Fiddler on the Roof, and they were just having a lot of technical difficulties. And they started this show in like a lift, like they made a roof with like their bodies, which was unbelievable. And then there was a fiddler on the shoulders of somebody else. And they had to restart that like 3-4 times. It was nuts. And half the time they just stood there waiting with this girl on this person's shoulders. It was wild. And I was just sitting there baffled at the professionalism for kids who the youngest is probably somewhere around 12. Like that's nuts. So I think it's honestly when they're being their least silly, because we walk around and we see them in their off time and they are so energetic and so wild and playing all these fun theater games. But then when the time comes to do what they came to do, they are consummate professionals, which I think is amazing to watch them like switch back and forth from that so fast.
Yes, that is insane. And I love it. And I also want to take an opportunity to shout out the educators and teachers and directors that they had that helped them understand what it means to be a professional and to let whatever happen, but be able to regroup and get yourself back in the game and refocus, because it's true. All we're doing is sitting there fighting for them. We're like, it's going to work. It's going to work.
Be fun. Right. And I told them that I had the same experience. You know, Groundhog Day was my Broadway debut, and our first preview, the stage broke and we had to hold for 40 minutes. And then they decided finally to just do a concert, but it was all on the fly. And it was the most bizarre night of my life. And to like be a part of it was the most insane adrenaline crash. Like I went home and got violently ill just because my body was like, what are you doing? Was so confused. But I did tell them that a lot of my friends that were in the audience for that show said that it was such a wonderful piece of theater and such a magical night. And I wasn't really able to feel that because there was a lot of my own stuff going on. But I did say to this fiddler group, like, thank you now, because now I get it on this side of it, because their performance was so wonderful and they, you know, completely earned it. They had to start 3 times. So it was really cool.
Oh, yeah. Groundhog Day on Broadway was such a trip and we loved it. And I do appreciate that. Yes, there were times when things didn't go right, but you still kept going, even on Broadway.
Yeah. I mean, there's 5 turntables. Something's bound to go wrong. So
turntables.
Oh, turntables.
Well, Katy, I really do love so many different parts of what makes you you. And one of the biggest ones is that you live your life fully and authentically out loud for the world to see and embrace and love. And I know that as young people, sometimes it can be hard to maintain that sense of your true self, especially in the face of the haters. So what are some ways that you get yourself up and ready for that day, ready to take it on, ready to be as confident as you possibly can be? And maybe sometimes that means you're not as confident, but what are those tools that you use to get yourself to feel your authentic self?
I think that you have to meet yourself where you are every day. And that is going to be different from yesterday and also different from tomorrow. And there are so many reasons why you are in the rooms that you are in. So focusing on the reasons that you could not have been cast, or maybe the reasons that you were overcoming, doesn't do anyone any good, because that hurdle has already been crossed. You're already there. Remind yourself of what you are bringing to the room and why you are there, and know that that is your toolbox, and know that the rest of it is just not really your job to worry about.
That's amazing. I love that. And it's so simple. And yet at the same time, it's something that we have to practice a lot, because
it is a practice behavior. Like, this is also like, I said I started at 7, I'm 28. So I've had 2 decades of this career under my belt. So if it's not coming easily, it will later, but practice.
That is amazing. Katy, I have loved having this time with you on Sunday Spotlight. I'm so glad that you could stop by.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. But wait, this isn't the end of our episode. You all know the drill. It is now time for our creative craft. Today's creative craft is brought to us by the lovely and wonderful Katy Geraghty, who actually, in the same vein of our last question, is going to give us some of those tools to help us feel our true and authentic self and walk in confidence wherever we go. Take it away, Katy.
Okay, so for this, you'll need some kind of piece of paper. If you have sticky notes or something like that that's small and sticky, that's great. Or just some tape, that's great too. And something to write with. Basically, we get told so many things in theater from, our castmates, somebody who's casting us, our directors, our teachers. And we have this huge list of all of these statements that we know about ourselves, have heard about ourselves, sometimes think about ourselves. All of those things apply. And I want us to take the time and write some of those things down. For instance, I know from myself that I'm a very good dancer. That's a great example of a sentence to write. And then on top of that, that can also go into a lot of other things where I'm a really good tapper. I'm a really good mover. I am really good at making stories with my body. Like, you can get as specific as you want or as broad as you want. And then these can also be things that aren't necessarily the best things we've ever heard and don't make us feel wonderful. So it's okay to accept those things as well. For instance, I'm a proud plus size performer, but of course that means that many people who have silly opinions that are not valid, clearly I've been working for 2 decades, would say, you're only ever going to play Tracy Turnblad. So that's also a sentence that we can write down, because I've heard it. It's been said to me and I've felt it at one point or another. Again, not true. I have not done only Hairspray for 2 decades. Good God, I would not have legs anymore if that was the case. But write all these things down. Those are the 2 examples. And as you're writing them down, I want you to really look at them and think about who is served by that statement. Who is going to get the most out of you feeling that way? And if it's not you, it doesn't belong in your head anymore. Crumple it up, burn it with parents' permission, do whatever you need to do with it, but just get it out of there. Shred it, cut it up. Don't eat it. That would be gross. Do whatever you need, get rid of it. And for everything else that does make you feel good, put them up, put them around, look at them all the time, and remind yourself that they came from your brain. You do actually think these things. And what I was saying before, sometimes we just need to meet ourselves where we are. I don't feel like a great dancer every day, but that doesn't mean I'm not one. So figure out what you need to look at every day. And that is your craft.
You heard it here, kids at home. You have just gotten your creative craft. It is time for you to go and write all of those beautiful notes to yourself about what makes you special. And also maybe write down some notes that you've heard that don't make you feel so great, and then actually get to tear and rip And, with your parents' permission, maybe burn it up. Oh no, we're going to get in trouble.
I know. Sorry, parents. That's my bad.
We apologize. But it's
pyros
true. We want to get rid of it. Yeah, we want to stomp it out because it's good for you to hear those things. And sometimes people feel that way. But like Katy said, is it serving you? Is it actually going to make you feel like a better performer or human? And if it doesn't, get rid of it. But anything that you
need it.
Exactly. And anything that you don't actually want to have, you can get rid of. But anything that you do want to remind yourself of that make you feel really good, hold on to that. Mm-hmm. Okay. You got your craft? Go get creative. Until next time, keep on shining, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.